at court today. I went ahead and signed the papers for the dismissal. The attorney, Jaffa's attorney, took the paper to the courtroom with my signature on it. My signature, right? It took them about 30 or 40 minutes to change all the paperwork they had behind my back in Franklin County system. Yeah, about 30, 40 minutes. It took a while because we were waiting out there for quite some time. But they needed my signature at that time. They needed my signature at that time to apply the paperwork that's going on behind the scenes. Again, the people from Franklin County Court were following me for quite some time. So they present the papers, and the judge says we have to give a sworn testimony, right? Hold your right hand up, right? So we're in the courtroom. I'm holding my right hand up. You know what these fools handed me? A piece of paper with whiteout on it. So the original document that I signed 30, 40 minutes prior to was changed so that it benefits them. Because they know that the girl driving the Mustang was the person involved with Jaffa that's been following me around the city for 6 months now. But they're protecting everybody. Remember, I said it was 110 people. I meant that. They are taking my YouTube videos when I make videos like this now recently and making YouTube shorts without my permission. How are you making those YouTube shorts without my permission? I've deleted them because they're not something I made. You're not in charge of my YouTube account. No one is in charge of my YouTube account. I never signed anything because I never met with anybody from YouTube. I certainly haven't met with any social media gurus, so to speak. I never did. But when I tell you we were being recorded, and they can do something with AI, I'm sure they can, right? I'm sure that they can. They can do something with the video in the courtroom. When I tell you he handed me that paper, the judge, with whiteout on it. It had whiteout on the printing in the courtroom on the divorce document. And I said to him, wait a second here, what's this? Why is there whiteout on this document? This is a court document. First of all, I thought whiteout couldn't be used on court documents. Second of all, I know what I selected when I filed for divorce. I have the paperwork. The paperwork they had in the courtroom, I contested that too on camera because it doesn't include all the selections I selected to be divorced. Doesn't include it. It's missing one. I selected fraudulent contract from jump because that's what he provided. It was a fraudulent contract. This was a one-way marriage. When I tell you they railroaded me in the courtroom, they couldn't wait to do it. They couldn't wait to do it. They expect me to spend $5,000 on a lawyer. I'm not. But what you did was recorded. And what you did was a shared experience. Right? So why was that whiteout on the paper? I already filed a grievance against that judge. I don't care. Because I said he was compromised. And he is. I'm going to file another grievance because that document had whiteout on it. What document in any courtroom in Franklin County is allowed? It's not supposed to have whiteout on it. I may not be an attorney, but I am somewhat of a detective. You're not going to present some shit to me and then expect it not to be presented back to you. This is a mirror, motherfucker. How can a document be presented and be official when it has white out on it from a judge? And when I asked him, he said, oh, let me see that. Let me get that back. That was just where I signed my name. Well, you signed your name to this, what I accorded to 30 to 40 minutes prior, Judge Nobles. Ain't nothing noble about that judge. Nothing. When I tell you Jaffa is in bed with the people with the keys to the city, he is. This is not a game. My life was treated as if it had no value because I was a black woman. Not was, I am a black woman. But it was treated very stereotypically, very cut and dry because of what they needed to hide. So I signed the papers. I sat out there in the lobby and waited. 40 minutes went by, and guaranteed they changed a lot of paperwork with my signature on it so that it could sign off on anything Jaffa really had. When I tell you, the people at Franklin County Municipal Courthouse here in Columbus, Ohio, Judge Nobles, Jaffa's attorney, they all worked together. You know what they did while I was sitting out there in the lobby? They were walking around me. I'm on my phone, looking at seeing what I'm looking at on my phone, the same normal shit. They could not wait. When I tell you they could not wait because they knew they got their way. You got your way only so far. You got your way only so far. In my eye, you should have never crossed my path. You definitely shouldn't have presented no damn fucking paperwork with whiteout on it, because I see what you did. And you took time long enough to do it because I called out y'all's court representative that's been following me around. When I tell you the Columbus Police Department has several names, full names, and their addresses of the people who have been cyber stalking me and locally gang stalking me and bragging about these social media contracts. They have the information. They have it. They didn't want to do nothing about it because everybody is involved. They got a lot of social media contract with these readers. Okay? Some of them is, ha. And some of them is, huh. All right. You played the game. It was your job. You played the game. It was your job. I'm not swayed by anyone. Anyone. Digitally, physically, or anything else. Y'all can only prove yourself to be a liar to me. You can only prove yourself to be a deceiver for me. That's why I have it on record, the claim I filed against his attorney, the grievance I filed, and the grievance against the judge. I did those things for a reason, because they were compromised. And today, now, I did this 2 weeks ago, right? I did this 2 weeks ago based on the fact that that judge denied my protection order when I came back in court on time. How can you deny me my protection when I was sitting out there in the courtroom at 8:40 a.m. and waited for you until almost 9:15, 9:30? But see, what they were doing were watching me and my laptop and my USB drive. They wanted to know what information I have, because they're watching everything that I'm doing. I went to CVS and I bought that USB drive for $30. The rules are, when you are presenting information for a protection order, to put it on a USB drive. I followed those instructions. Why? Because I always follow instructions. I'm not someone who breaches contracts. I don't go against the grain. So they saw that. In between my protection order court case, which was October 14th, and I would say maybe the 20th, 22nd, the USB drive has been missing from my home. When I tell you the people who break into my home, they have nothing to poison, so they steal more stuff. They stole the damn scissors out my drawer. Whatever they're doing with these items that they have of mine, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I don't take things from people. I never have. I never will. That's my gist in life. I'm not a taker. You have to watch out for something. When someone has something to give and they put a bow on top, right? Wrap the ribbon around it, put a nice bow on top. Everything comes in that Pandora's box. The good, the bad, the ugly. That's what the Westerns would say. 110 people. I'm not exaggerating. He had to use everybody because I'm not a criminal. I'm not a thief. I'm not an identity user of people. And another thing, I don't commit online scams. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I can't help if you stealing my IP address, you breaking in my house, and you doing shit with my computer equipment when I'm gone. I can't help that. Okay? They've manipulated my phone to a T. This is why I don't text anybody anymore. This is why I don't call, because they're listening and they're watching on my device. Now, I've adjusted a few things based on their surveillance, but not everything. I only adjusted like 10% because I'm priceless, baby. You can't buy me out. You can't sell me out while you looking for a handout. You could not be nothing but out. You are in the in crowd and you are out. When you seen me beg for something? Motherfucker. When was I begging for something? Please. Who needed that? Man, when I tell you the courthouse was full of the spiers today. They was spying, they was looking, they was texting, they was reporting. As soon as I got off the elevator, there was two ladies sitting over there to the left. Somebody's mama and grandmama, you know them. What you looking for now? Meet me at the casino. Since y'all like taking risks. Furthermore. Yeah, I did put a ring around that neck. I saw something he stole. Not great. But that's okay, because that's who I am. I'm going to make sure I take action when action is needed. I can tell you something. It wasn't good crossing my path, because not everybody stole. But it's not good if you cross my path in that way. I will tell you something about me. I never act perfect. It's not appropriate. I act appreciative because I love who I am. Always. There's never been a time where I haven't loved who I am or I'm not Jessica, okay? It doesn't matter what they have said because they have a key to the city. They have a key to the city so they can make anything work. That I mean. They have a key to the city. His boyfriend has a key to the city. And a key to YouTube, the social media contracts, the brand deals, everything else. His boyfriend is what's really going to help him take off right now since we are fully divorced. And I signed the fake paperwork in court because I did, don't get me wrong, I signed the real paperwork correctly. I signed it. But then once they took it back into the judge chambers, they did something else with the paperwork. And then he signed his name again. They ran the paperwork to take whatever out my name, suffice anything in my name associated with Franklin County Courthouse, because I don't know what's going on down there because they're criminals. Um, and once they were done and the paperwork was good and through, they went ahead and called us back into the courtroom. And then he presented the documentation that had the whiteout on it. That's what it had. It was being recorded, AI generated later. But again, I'm priceless. I can't be bought. You can fake all these signatures. You can fake these AI videos. You can fake a lot of inappropriate things. It's not who I am. If you think I won't stand up for a second for who I am, you're wrong. Who I am doesn't need a name. But you desire names and titles. You desire a whole lot more than I ever needed. I was living my simple life in a routine, and I still am. I just have only me successfully. Y'all couldn't rub two pennies together to create friction. You couldn't. You couldn't create friction if you wanted to. Friction don't exist in y'all. Y'all do have a pattern. Oh, y'all have a pattern. This morning when I came out to get my coffee and stuff down the street, there was a security officer that got out his black Honda Pilot. He gave me that look. He gave me that look. I see you. I see you. He gave me that look. So when I was at the counter paying for my stuff, I went ahead and spoke loudly and boldly because this is the home of the brave. He was talking to somebody on the phone and they was listening and watching. Just watching in, just to hear, see what she doing, what she doing. Bitch, I'm getting my coffee. Black. Black hand. Black fist. And I threw a spade on that ass. I threw a spade on that security officer this morning. I spaded y'all too. Oh, look at y'all, so happy, right? With his nose leaking. Nose leaking right in the courtroom. How the hell your nose leaking in the courtroom? Can you stop for a little bit? Can y'all stop for a little bit? You can, right? You can. I ain't got no more food in here for y'all to poison. I don't have no food in here for y'all to poison. Y'all gonna have to come with y'all's manufactured stuff and place it around here and keep y'all's crime going. I have no part with you. I don't care about you, actually. And, you know, the law plays its part. I played my part with the law. They were already on their side. There was nothing else I could do. You can believe I've sent plenty of emails. I've went to many places in person. Not many. A couple places in person. Just to clear the air. But they were already paid off. When I tell you his boyfriend has a key to the city, it's not something I can fuck with. And I don't mean like, oh, part of some group. I don't mean like, oh, $2 million. I mean somebody who has access to anything that they want. And when they sold me out last year, that person that sold me out went overseas to sell me out. They used everyone to do it. Everyone played a part. And this is why I was stuck with the agreement at the courthouse of incompatibility compared to what I filed divorce for. What I filed divorce for. They stereotyped me. They railroaded me. You keep crossing my path as if this is something you can do. It don't matter what title you have and what money you make. Why you keep crossing my path like this? You had to make it right. The judge should have made it right. But like I said back in July, after I met that judge, I already knew he was paid off. So I put it on my YouTube channel because I knew he was paid off when I met him. The deals have been done. Whatever they did to sabotage my life, they've been doing this for a long time because Jaffa was caught up a long time ago. What's crazy is he make trouble wherever he go. Jaffa was only in Columbus for 5 months before I met him. And he was already caught up with the cartel. And I gotta be followed around this city because these cartel princess bitches and the men, whoever, the whole group over there on 104, had a bone to pick with Jaffa. And here I am loving him, not knowing this danger he's brought into my life. You can best believe he done picked a side now. He done picked a couple of sides. Y'all don't know it because y'all in all different groups, this group, that group, this group, that group. He done already picked a side with most of y'all. Some of y'all, he went ahead and did whatever. But I can tell you this, that man's loyalty is only coming from money. People who lead the way with money, you have to understand that's a catalyst. It will be used as collateral, and you have become your own liability. You have become your own liability. I've never been a liability other than my traffic violations. I'll stand on it. I'll smoke on it. I'll live on it. There ain't nothing strange about me. Clearly, I'm a black woman. I'm here. I'm black in America like every other black woman in their 40s. Just like anybody else. This is why customer service has worked for me for 20 years. This is why I was ready to retire and get the hot dog stand, because if I could grow that business for a year, not if, I would have, then I would have been able to franchise it out to people graduating from high school for $5,000. A $5,000 investment, maybe a little bit more depending on how inflation was going. But it would have helped people. Now, this is my idea, and this is what I said 5 years ago. It's not hard to come up off of $5,000, right? You might have somebody give you $2,500 or a mix of $2,500 in cash. And then as a new high school graduate, as long as everything has went well, you can get a credit card with $2,000 limit or something like that. So you can use your credit limit as well as a few other, maybe a gift from a family member, and easily put $5,000 together to invest in my business that would have grown to help young people. This is what Jaffa was secretly selling to the women in his life. He took my idea while I was building up my own, and he gave it to everybody else. See, I graduated from Dayton Job Corps 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. And when I was there, I knew that there was a need for young people to experience their own, because the age range for Job Corps was 16 to 24. Job Corps has been annihilated by Trump, President Trump, this administration. So I don't know if there's a few left open or when they will close, but I know they've been annihilated. Like, there will be no more Job Corps across America. And that's something that's been a staple in America for 25 years. I graduated from Dayton Job Corps with my STNA and with a brick masonry certificate. It helps. I was 20. I was looking at college like, dang, it costs 40 some $1,000. There's no assets, there's no money, there's nothing. Like, what can you do at 20 years old and you do want to go to college? Back then, you would go into college debt for more than the amount. 20 years ago, you would, and even still, I'm not saying that's changed, but definitely 20 years ago when you're realizing something, because I'm an 80s baby, not 90s, that you're looking at going $40,000-$60,000 in debt for college. Or you can go to Job Corps for free, get you a certification, and start from there. That's the path that I chose. And when I graduated and I came back to Columbus, I got a job working as a security officer, third shift. I did that for quite a few years. It was really good, actually. It was really good. Back then, it was good money. I had my own townhome. It was beautiful. I had a nice car. It was, no. I had an older car, but it was nice. I had an 88 Pontiac Grand Prix, white. It was nice. But, just getting back to the story, once you graduated, I was graduating with people who were from basically 18 up to 24. And when you've put in that work and you're 20 years old, 21 years old, you've put in that work, you want to have something that you can build on. Work is always great. Work is always great. But in this country, it was designed that you were only supposed to be taxed on your second form of income. As American citizens, we were only supposed to be taxed on our second form of income. It's not like that today. It should be. But they started doing things differently about 80 to 100 years ago because more people populated the country. And with that, they were able to tax from the house. Here come the feds. So, just getting back to the story, that was my plan. So, foolproof, all good. A couple things happened during the pandemic, normal things happen. And I never caught COVID because I stayed in the house. I'm used to being a loner. I've never had a roommate other than people that were family from time to time, and they stayed with me. I rarely stayed with them, but they stayed with me. So, but I never had a roommate or someone living with me who was not family and was not somebody I was married to. I never lived with a boyfriend, and no boyfriend has ever lived with me. That's a lifetime thing. That will never change. Never change. So when I had this and I wanted to expound on it, I took some steps back only for personal reasons, but nothing else. And through the pandemic, everything continued to grow for me because I was able to go to work back and forth. I stayed at one job the whole time, back and forth, and maintain my peace. A lot of people got COVID that I knew. A lot of people kept getting COVID. A lot of people died. We know that. It was to the point where I was not seeing anybody going to work from home and they were like putting food on my car or dropping little gifts on my car like, I came by your house and I put a little gift in your grill. I miss you. I miss y'all too. And I loved my friends. I loved the few people I was hanging with. But there was always something there because through COVID, my friends who were responsible adults, of course, they had kids. And everybody knew if you had kids, then COVID kind of stayed in the house from time to time. I just spared myself from everyone. But I had the strength to do that. I had the know-how to do that. And I was at peace. So I wanted to start everything over again as the pandemic ended, new job started, continue on with that plan. And I got married. It was supposed to be a good day for me. It wasn't a good day for me. It was a good day at the time for the cartel princess. She has a baby with Jaffa. And this girl is very young. We were doing things and going around on this side of town, and this girl would pop up, and I'm kind of looking at her, but I'm not catching you know what I mean? Because why would he? How? He's only been here 5 months. He ain't did shit according to them. Okay? But I was wrong. I was wrong. See, the difference is where you live and how you live. Let's talk about where you live. Where I've lived at in Columbus on my own, the places that I've had have always been safe places. They've been houses in good neighborhoods or an apartment in a decent neighborhood. Java lived off of Kimberly Court in some ghetto apartments because they couldn't get an apartment. The apartment that he was living in with an old man had been in the name of the person that runs the tire shop. And that was an apartment that they had for years and years. They were cycling people out, apparently. So, he was there and then he went to go work at the tire shop. Eventually, somebody else would come in from their country and they would live in that apartment and go work at the tire shop because this is a ghetto community. They're not really checking to see who's actually living in the apartment versus who's on the lease. So, during that time period, he was doing something. After he hit the road, we were good for a couple of months, and maybe about September, October, we started to argue. There was issues. And like, why? How? Because this is what I do, and this is what you're doing. Like, this is what I do. This is what's happening. What's going on? But of course, I'm not here to blame or nag. I don't blame people out of just anywhere. I don't put anything on anyone out of the blue. That's kind of ridiculous. And a person who does that is confused. You need to have some facts, some action behind what has happened or what you have done under the sun. Regardless of how things have carried on, everyone involved that had their knife in my heart, I plucked it out. You have to look at the blood on that knife. It's not what you want. I can tell you it's not what you want. You should have never crossed my path. And I said something before I started saying this. So I'm going to say it now. There are a lot of things that I've never done in this life. I do not steal from people. I don't have to. I don't break into people's homes. I would never. There's a lot of things I would never do. But I know the one thing that the universe has told me from jump is do not cross people because I will not let anyone cross your path. That's it. That's it. That's what the universe has said. A long time ago, I was 9. I heard it. It's done. Don't cross anyone. I am not someone here to create blocks. I create ways, solutions, and I cure things. I've done it my entire life. 42 years, plus 9 months. Plus 9 months. The universe didn't call me by name. It told me what to do. I have performed. Jessica Rabbit. What else more? A lot? A lot. Okay, let's do it. Because still to this day, to this very moment, this very time and hour, I would never cross anyone's path. And for anyone that catches this video and you're scoping me out and trying to investigate me from a distance, from afar, from close, from wherever, just understand that you're crossing my path. I ain't got to walk with you. I ain't got to see you do it. But I'm telling you now what the universe told me a long time ago. Do not cross my path. I'm not the one. When I was 20 years old, I told myself, 2019, 19 or 20 years old, I told myself, you can do an about face and get out of line. The universe said, yep. Now you know. Watch yourself. Okay. Okay. I'll do that. It was easy for me to walk my path in this life because I don't cross anyone. those that have crossed me, and it's been a many, they got their just due for the responsibility, for the duty they played. It was your job. Jaffa got them pats on the back. And like Lil Wayne said, don't pat me on the back, because I ain't gonna choke. I ain't choking. Don't pat me on the back. You better watch it when people patting you on the back, tapping your shoulders, telling you sweet nothings. You better watch it. I don't, that's the kind of stuff that make me be like, huh? Put the brakes on it. If somebody was like, here you go, Jessica, I would always have been like, what? Hold on, because I didn't do that. That wasn't by my hand. That's not the black hand. Nah, it wasn't the black hand. Sunny, sunny, sunny. So yeah, back to life. Back to life. Back to reality. Back to life. Back to reality. Back to life. Back to reality. Oh, I think they like me in my white tee. In my white tee. In my white tee. In my white tee. It's for free. It's foolproof. It's foolproof. Come here. Come to me. That whiteout was such a joke at the Franklin County Courthouse. I swear they expect all black people to be stereotypical, and this is why it has been such a radical movement to move black people out of the stereotype. Because we all know, even since before I was born, we're not just stereotyped by people who are non-black. We're stereotyped by people who are black. And they have the power to get their way over others. This is your penance. You won't have to carry that as an African American. Again, I did nothing wrong. I never signed anything during our whole entire marriage except for the license and the lease. I never signed anything else for me other than employment contracts, which was for one company only, because I was already working with one company prior to marriage. So what they use my signature for today at the Franklin County Courthouse, it definitely has something to do with money, assets, maybe even, I don't even know, I can't tell you. But what I can tell you is that that paperwork had the whiteout on it. They had to do something. Because literally when I tell you the time was up for the forgery and the fraud, they had to have my signature one way or another. They had to have it today. So let me show you something here, right? Look at that line. Look at my line where I signed my name. Look at where Jaffa signed his name. Now look at the line of the judge. When I originally signed, there was no other signature on it but mine. They went into the courtroom and took this document back into the courtroom, right? Listen to what I'm saying. They took this document back into the courtroom, and we waited in the lobby for almost 40 minutes. So whatever they had at Franklin County Courthouse in my name that I'm not aware of or anything like that, They used this signature right here on this paperwork that I signed, because this was the only one that I signed today. And you see the straight line underneath my name and underneath his name. But look at the judge. So what did the judge sign with my signature on it? What did he sign? What did he signature for? For 40 minutes. Okay? You understand? That they've excluded me. That Franklin County Courthouse excluded me purposely in the dark to hide more fraud and more forgery. They're using this signature right here. See the lines. So when he handed me the document before we were supposed to swear to this final decree of divorce, this is the document he handed me, and I asked him, why does it have whiteout on it? He made up some blatant excuse. Do you understand what I'm saying, what these people have done when I tell you it's 110 people who rose up against me for him? They had no reason to. Before I was married, I had no enemies. Who were they? I had no business partners. Who were they? I had no loans. Who were they? What they have done, because he had to sign this document in front of me and then give me a copy, it shows proof that they whited out the signature. So then I have a question. What other judge was involved? Because I'm not involved in any other court cases. The only thing I went to court for in 5 years would have been eviction court for my tenants. Not me at all. I've never been evicted. I've never been close to eviction. So what judge needed my signature? You can get over on a rat. You can get over yourself, but you're not going to get over me. Proof is right here. Whatever they used my signature for today in court was to help Jaffa release whatever funds, assets, and things that were entitled to me to him. The whiteout on the documentation proves it. This whiteout. So when I tell you being Black in America, you're supposed to be in your place. You are supposed to be in your place at all times. You are not supposed to get out of line. And when you get out of line like me, they will use the law. They will use the law to benefit them and to keep their crimes going. I'm not kidding. I'm still seeking justice. I'm still going to file more grievances. I'm still going to file more claims, even about that. They can ignore me, but I'm going to leave a trail. There's no way I would never leave a trail. You can't forget me. You can laugh in my face. You can stab me in the heart. Yeah, you can do that. But you can't forget me. Now y'all know that paperwork. Now y'all know that paperwork. Give me a damn break. They had to do it. They had to do it because all the mail that they've been stealing from my house to keep me in the dark about anything, This is what they needed that signature for today. This is what they needed that signature for today. They needed my signature today. For that. And guess what they're doing? They're high-fiving, they're laughing because they got over on me, a black woman in America. Babe, this is my land. This is the home of the brave. What you have done is rose up something you cannot reach anymore. Of course you have the title. Of course you have the pull. Of course you have the resources. I have said this for 6 months. That's not what was gonna help you later on. It's not gonna help you later today. When I went into the courtroom, there was another lady that walked in there with us. Another black woman. Part of the crew, part of the group. When I tell you they needed my signature, when I tell you that's white out on that court decree, that's white out in the state of Ohio. Come on, man. They had to steal something. They had to steal it. They had to steal it today. They had to do it today. Whatever it was, they had to have it done today. And they needed my signature. Of course, they knew I'd be in court. They knew I'd have to sign something. They've been still in the mail. And I done left their reviews. I have filed complaints against the USPS mail system. I have filed complaints against Franklin County Courthouse. I've filed complaints against the judge, filed complaints against the jury, his attorney. I have done the work. When I tell you I have filed 10, 12 police reports, I've done the work. They will choose to absolve themselves. Remember the side y'all chose. Because this was more than just me. This was always more than just me. Remember the side y'all chose. You guys have sided with people who are enemies at any given time and you don't even know their names. You're signing your name to contracts, and these contracts go to people in the courthouse. They go to people that run the state. And when they are through with you, when they are done with you, when they want to wax you, baby, wax on. Because that's what you signed up for. You did it for money and resources, right? My natural resources come from the earth. Emeralds. Diamonds and emeralds. White diamond perfume. Liz Taylor. Shout out to Liz. When I tell you, y'all have, you did your 1, 2. You did it. Trust me. You did. You ain't got to trust me. You know you did your 1, 2. But I saw you and I have proof. I already started signing names myself. I was gifted that right. Now that I'm seeing y'all's faces, I don't know y'all's names. Y'all's face can go on the paper. Thank you for embodying time of Jessica Younger, the new Bachelorette, Freedom Rings, Freedom Rings. Jingle your own bells and watch me when I leave. What are you doing, Sonny? Eh? Until the next time. Until the next time. Until the next time. Hold on, let me do something for y'all. Let me do, well, because y'all running. Y'all the running man. Y'all the running. Y'all the running man. Y'all running. Running man. It was a good movie. See you later.